take a look at the 6'5" freshman guard out of Ohio State, Malaki Branham, a young man who was ranked in the 30s and 40s by most outlets in his incoming recruiting class, not this NBA draft class, in his incoming recruiting class as he was coming out of St. Vincent St. Mary. 42% three-point shooter on a little under 3 attempts per game. So maybe you would have liked to see higher volume, but he was also 44% on catch and shoot threes. And this was his second most used play type, 1.4 points per possession. I also like his mid-range pull-up game. So you see him coming off a pin down right here, able to curl it, one dribble, and look at that elevation on this mid-range pull-up. Even with the contest, doesn't bother him. He's able to knock it down. He shot 46% in the mid-range if you take away the long baseline twos. And so I took those out, but when he's here in the middle of the floor, or I'll show a little bit later when he can get to his floater, he was very efficient. I like this one here against Illinois in an unsettled situation, how quickly he was able to square up, get his feet and his balance underneath him, and go right into that mid-range pull-up there as he knocks it down with contact. And then I'll talk more about him in ball screens as the handler, his most used play type, but here now you see him going to his left. So we've seen him going to his right, now he's going to his left, able to pull up for a long two, show some nice soft touch as he gets that one to go. His entire scoring package, I wanted to see a little bit more of him getting downhill into the paint, and it did show up more and more as the season went on. This is early in the year against Duke, and I would have liked to see a mentality here of get downhill. You see his defender runs into a teammate. Right here, he's hugged up with Malachi's teammate, and he kind of, to me, there's a driving lane to get into the paint, and he settles to go ahead and take that pull-up mid-range jumper. He looked just more comfortable with that. Here against Northwestern, a little bit later in the season, see something similar. There's a driving lane to go ahead and attack in here, score it, maybe draw this defender so he gets a teammate open for a shot. We'll talk about his passing later as well, but he stops and goes to the pull-up jumper. He does get fouled, but it does get better as the year went on. One other thing that will have to continue to prove is the handle. One thing, he's not very explosive, so like in these true isolations, doesn't create a lot of an advantage, and then multiple times when he got caught off, the ball got away from him and the defender was able to pick his pocket. This wasn't the only time in the games that I watched, so the handle definitely has to get better. He finished 55% around the rim on 128 attempts in his freshman season, so pretty good percentage, and it was even better in his final 10 games at 70% and in ball screen situations. But I do think there left something to be desired in terms of just the bag, finishing in some different ways with Euro steps, with his left. I'll show more of those in just a second. I talked about that floater, right? I said I took out the long twos, but I kept these ones in right here. He got really good, showed some really good clips of this just little push floater. There he uses his body, finishes over Mark Williams. Here off a pin down into a dribble handoff, he's going to put the defender in jail. I love this. This is when you put the defender behind you, keep him on your back to keep your advantage. Drop defender here, doesn't come up, so he just goes to a little bit 12-foot floater. Again, you see that happening in the middle of the floor where he looked very comfortable. And then here in the ball screen, 71% finishing at the rim as a ball screen handler, 1.2 points per possession. I love this. He puts his defender down to the level of these screens or below these ball screens. He could have done a little bit better job coming off shoulder to shoulder, but I like that action initially, and then he gets to 2 feet and again shows that little floater there as he's able to knock it down. And then here, I like this. So that's a pin down into the handoff. He reads this defender who jumps up to hard hedge it and cut him off. He sees that. He's able to split his defender, and that defender gets into the lane. Now, this is where I'd like a little bit more of a bag. Maybe a Euro step here, maybe a finish with the left. He does get to the free throw line, unable to finish, and he did get to the free throw line 3 times a game, shooting and finishing at 83% from the free throw line. Again, using ball screens. Now he's going to his left. A little hesitation, a little change of pace, and then able to explode with the left-hand flush right there. And then again, against Illinois, uses it. This time he's going to refuse it. You see just a little bit of wiggle in the ball handling, and then the long steps and the right-hand reverse on the other side of the rim. So it did get much, much better throughout the season. And then the passing. This is another area that needs to improve. So a couple clips that look very, very similar. Using the ball screen, his teammate's open. He's forced the commitment from the help defender. He just doesn't see it or doesn't see it early enough. The next clip, you're going to see the same thing against Illinois. He's going to drive in there. That same defender jumps all the way over here. Just play to the weak side. You've done your job. You've forced two defenders just to guard you. I don't know if this was like, I got to get the ball to E.J. Liddell because he's so good, but it was definitely something that caught my eye. And then just talking about high-level reads. So again, maybe within the offense, he's supposed to throw it to the post. But right here, you can see the weak side defender already cheating over. And I just would have liked to see a little bit more of Branham, like using eye manipulation or ball fakes to get him to come and then throw to the skip pass to the weak side corner. As you see, they don't get any advantage there in that one. And then here on the drive to the basket, same type of thing. Just some more high-level reads. Love to see him more comfortable, take another dribble. His teammate isn't helping him a lot. You'd like to see the hammer to the corner here, him already be there. But if Malaki keeps his dribble alive and gets to here, he's going to be there. Or he could see teammate E.J. Liddell at the top of the key. You see it ends up in a turnover. Now, again, as the season went on and throughout the season, you saw him make some of these reads. So here he attacks a closeout with that good shooting and then just makes the nice, easy read, gets a teammate a wide open bucket. And then again, using a ball screen and then a second one, showing the handle a little bit. Again, it definitely has to get tighter, but attracts the defense in here, comes to a stop, plays on 2 feet, gets a teammate a wide open look, even though he's not able to put it down. That's the offensive package for Malaki Branham. Let's look to the defensive side of the ball. Let's start on ball. One thing you're going to notice with all of his defense is he struggles at times to get through screens. So here you're going to see him run right into the screen on ball early in the season against Duke. Now there were some better clips as I'll show as the season went on. So here against Illinois, you see him get up. And right there, he gets that foot over the top of the ball screener. Really good job there from Malaki. But then as he switched, you see he's not able to do it a second time, and he runs right into the screen. So definitely something he's going to have to work on and improve. As you see against Nebraska, he does a good job of it again. So here on the ball, he gets that foot over top of the screen, able to push up against the ball handler, and does a good job getting through that ball screen. So it was a little bit of a mixed bag. Saw enough where you're like, okay, here's the foundation for a decent defender in the NBA. Here against fellow probably first-round pick Bryce McGowens in just kind of isolation. You see he's able to move his feet, change direction, stay in front. Really nice rep there from Malaki Branham. Even here in transition, does a good job again. Stays in front. I like this here. I believe his teammate calls out to ice the ball screen, which means we're going to keep it to the sideline. Jumps up, does that. What I saw a lot, though, was he would get beat. He would keep playing, right? So he continues to play. He doesn't just get completely blown by where it's a wide open, uncontested layup, but he did struggle to stay in front at times. He would stay with the play, making it a little bit tougher of a finish for McGowan's there, but definitely some work to do on ball. Off the ball, it's the same thing. There's some defensive awareness, maybe some IQ stuff. So here, doesn't realize he needs to tag the roll guy. There was some confusion here, I'll admit here. Some teammates, they weren't sure, but just judging by coach where his eyes go to directly and Malachi's reaction, it looked to me like he was a little confused on him supposed to be the guy that tagged the roller there. And then on this one, Ohio State bigs, especially E.J. Liddell, lots of rotating over trying to get weak side blocks. But this is late in the season. Malaki had time to adjust to that. Right now, you have to be able to rotate down here and get this check out. He averaged just under 3 defensive rebounds a game. Maybe not a bad number for a guard, but would like to see those rotations and blockouts in those situations. And then just the basketball IQ stuff. He's guarding Bryce McGowan's overtime game. Ohio State up by 6, has all the momentum, and he just completely overhelps right here, takes a chance he never should, and gives McGowan's an open 3, keeps Nebraska in the game. So just some things that he needs to continue to work on. As you see him here, just the awareness is a little late. Averaged less than a block a game, so I don't know about weak side rim protection, but even if he can do it, he's got to be better recognizing it early to give himself a chance. And then I talked about getting through screens. It gets better, I'll show it in a second, but here against Northwestern, baseline out of bounds, runs right into it. And so there was just too many clips where he definitely got hung up on screens, and it's a thing he's going to have to get better at in the NBA because NBA teams will definitely run him off of those if it doesn't happen. Here against Illinois, I think a much better clip. So you see him be able to get low, chase, get through, doesn't get hung up on him. Now it's just the attention to detail to stay down, not jump, Multiple efforts there, which I love, but still gives up the bucket. And then I want to end on a positive one here. So it wasn't like it was all negative off ball. He did start to get some steals later in the season with good rotations. So here against Illinois, going to force his teammate to step over and help. Here he does. So this is similar to like the offensive rebound he gave up. He does see the rotation, gets over, and actually gets himself an easy turnover. Got to really like the shooting and some of the offensive game. The defensive game, there's a foundation, but definitely going to have to improve.